If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, sounds like a duck, it's probably a duck. What in the world does that saying mean? Well, I'm gonna explain it to you. It is a class. It's actually a Latin saying that my mom grew up hearing that my grandfather used to say to her. At least that's what I remember the story being. And my mom has relayed it to me quite a few times. And actually, I've used it a lot. I've used it a ton of times actually because it's helps me when I have struggle with anxiety, as I have for the past couple of years. But I'm getting better tremendously. I actually just posted in a vlog how like I feel like at this point I'm at like a completely different person than I was even at last year. Where last year I felt like I was even getting better then, which is really cool. So I like sharing these little snippets and thoughts with you guys because I want to help you guys if you also struggle, to let you know that you're not alone, but also to just use these little snippets to try to help you get better if you're struggling. What in the world does that saying mean? Well, it's really actually helpful. So it's essentially saying I as you struggle and as you let me rephrase it, as you get better and better and better at recognizing um, anxieties and triggers and stuff, as you struggle, you can start to see, hey, I realized that that last one was an anxiety. And this one was an anxiety, and this one was an anxiety. You start to see these common threads of how it sounds in your head, what they sound like, what it feels like, what it does to your body, the way your thought processes goes, the way you interact with other people when you're feeling anxious, and you start to put these pieces together after a while, and you know, by yourself or with the help of others, however you go about it, and you realize you see these common threads, and it's like, oh, okay, you know what, that sounds, I knew I was being anxious a month ago, 3 months ago, a year ago. When I was after the fact, you learn, right? You say, oh, that was definitely an anxiety. Okay, good to know. Now a month, 2 3 months later, when you deal with something similar, even if it's a different sound, if it sounds different in your head, if it's a different trigger, you start to realize, oh, that sounds just like that last anxiety, or it makes me feel the same exact way, or it does the same thing to my body or my emotions or my thought process. If it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, it's probably a duck. If it makes you feel like the way you were thinking the last time, if it has the same tendencies, if it has the same chemical body reaction, if it has the same mental reaction, then it's probably the same thing. Because sometimes I've gotten caught up in, well, is this real? Is this not real? Is this a real thought? Is this anxiety? And I just try to remind myself, well, I've had a bunch of anxious thoughts, and all these anxious thoughts feel this way, and all these non anxious thoughts feel that way. And if it's feeling that way, then it's probably not a non-anxious, like it's probably an anxious thought, right? If it, an adaptation to that example would be, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, sounds like a duck, it's probably not a chicken. Well, what in the world does that mean? It's like, well, it's probably a duck, and it's probably not the other thing you're wondering if it is, right? So I just wanted to share that. It's something, you know, I was struggling with something earlier this morning. I was like, you know, it sounds so much like every other anxiety. It's probably a stinking anxiety. You know, the way that I'm reacting to it, it's the way that I've reacted to every other anxiety. So I'm going to categorize it as anxiety. And then once you do, then you can realize, hey, it's just anxiety. Move on, right? So I hope that little tidbit helped you. And I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll start saying that here on the channel. But I'll see you in the next video. It will get better. Anxiety does get better. Trust me. I'm a living example of that. It used to really mess my life up, and now you know, if I was at a 10, I'm at a 1 or 2, you know, most days here. So thank you so much. You rock, and it will get better.